Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Seabrook and this time I'm interviewing Cuban pianist Roberto Fonseca. I had a chat with him in the Jazz Social for London Jazz Festival, and it was a lovely opportunity to both have a chat with him and then hear him play in front of a packed audience. But I hope you enjoy listening to my conversation with Roberto Fonseca. Thank you for joining me. So my podcast is called Harmonious World.
Harmonious, okay.
The whole point of it is that it's built on a quotation from Quincy Jones, who allegedly once said, imagine what a harmonious world it would be if everyone shared a little of what they're good at. So I've started interviewing loads of musicians, and it started during lockdown, and I'm doing some by Zoom, but obviously it's great when I can do somebody. So thank you. It's really and so you're performing here at the Jazz Social tonight.
Tonight, yeah. Something special, piano solo, kind of,
Yeah, and then tomorrow you're doing.
Countdown.
Yeah.
And this is my new project. It's gonna be 7-piece band. It's more, This is my last project. It's called La Gran Diversión.
Okay, fantastic. So Roberto Fonseca, tell me a little bit about your background. Obviously, I've done some background reading, but tell me a little bit.
Well, I grew up on the musical family. My father was a drummer, percussionist, but he stopped doing that because he needed to take care about his family when he was a child.
Yeah.
And then my mother was a singer, was a dancer. She's still singing some choir, church choir. And I have two brothers that are musicians. The older plays piano, the one from the middle plays drums. I have an uncle. And essentially on my house, we was listening to any type of music when I was a child. Then at the 8 years old, I joined the classical music school in Cuba. Then I started playing, 15 years old, I started playing jazz festival. And I was into a different type of music. I produced hip hop. I was playing rock music too.
Right.
Especially, I was graduated on classical piano, and then I composed, and
Yeah. So you've got your foot in lots of different musical camps.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sure that helps bring your own individual style because you can nick bits from different genres.
Yeah, that for me it's very important to learn and to listen any type of music. For me it's not bad music or good music. It's just music. It just depends if you like it or not. It's done,
Yeah.
But the main thing for me is trying to learn from every style something a little bit, and then put it into my own way to play and to my own way to compose.
Yeah. So you kind of you're a jazz pianist, obviously, but there's that Cuban thing is always going to be there, isn't it? The Cuban influence.
Always, but that's my identity. That's my roots. That's my. Mainly I'm a jazz piano player.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be a musician. Because I'm trying to be a musician who have a lot of influence.
Yeah.
I tend to have a lot of influence. Oscar Peter have a lot of influence. But jazz is the best way to express ourselves because we have the improvisation. When you improvise, then you can take the ideas, the way you're thinking, through the melodies and rhythm.
Yeah. A lot of my audience will know about the Buena Vista Social Club, and you were with that for a long time and touring everywhere.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
That was a beautiful experience for me. That experience changed my life for sure. Because when I started to record with them, I was into a lot of jazz, really a lot of things. Jazz, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Dixie Gillespie's kind of thing, But then the problem is that we young musicians sometimes, I think this happens in all part of the world, in every part of the world. Young musicians don't pay attention to the traditional music from the country. In Cuba, these kind of things happen a lot. That young musicians don't pay attention to the traditional Cuban music. I was one of those who didn't pay attention.
Okay.
Then, but was beautiful because when I started to record with them, I knew who was Buena Vista Social Club, but I didn't know who was the musician. In general.
Okay.
Then I went to the studio. When I opened the door to record, I saw Ibrahim Ferrer, Cache Tolob, all the greatest.
Yeah.
And then I started to listen to traditional Cuban music with more attention, and I discovered that was really difficult to play, you know. And then these things changed my life, and the way of thinking, and the way I'm playing. And then I have to say thanks to Buena Vista Social Club. On one big part, I am the musician that I am now.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic.
So then I started to tour with them. Then I started to compose some stuff for them. And then I was the last co-producer, musical producer from Ibrahim to Ibrahim Ferrer.
Right. Yeah, because you've got this, you play the piano obviously, but then you're a composer and band leader and producer, and you're getting involved in the whole thing.
Yeah.
And do you find that fulfilling?
I mean, for me, it's beautiful, like compose, play, and do all this at the same time. I'm seeing people enjoying this kind of thing. This is magical for me. This is very important for me. I appreciate the opportunity that life gave me to share my feelings, to share my thoughts through the music. You know.
Yeah, and it's very much, isn't it? Your music is very much about the audience involvement, engagement, isn't that?
Yeah, because my parents teach me that when we are in the school. That's the moment for show that you are good. Because you have different tests, right?
Yeah.
If you pass all the tests, that means that you are a good musician, right? So, but when you get graduated, when you finish the school, you know, that means that you're good to play.
Right.
So, but they teach me that when you go to the concert, that's the moment to share music with the people. Don't become a clown. Don't become like a musician who want to please the audience. It's not about that.
No.
It's about to share your feelings. You know?
Right.
And then trying to be real, trying to be transparent. I mean, it's usually that's very important. You need to take care of it.
Yeah.
That's why it's very important for me to have like the audience involved, to have the audience engaged on the music.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously tonight is going to be a very different gig, because it's like everyone's sort of 6 inches away from you, kind of thing.
It's really different. I mean, people are passing, you know. And one thing is special for me that I hope that people will pay attention.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I think they will. I don't think this is going to be where people are going to be sitting chatting.
Yeah,
because I think once you start playing, it's,
because for me, I'm really spiritual musician, and then for me, silence is music too. You know, I mean, I can play in any place. That's not a problem for me. But when we use piano solo, has to be it's quite difficult to play piano solo. You know, you want to get the connection with the audience. It's very important that everybody not everybody, but it's good to have that connection with the people.
Yeah, because I guess if you're playing solo piano, when you create a silence before you start another phrase or something, you want that silence to be.
Definitely. That's sometimes the silence is more important than the phrase that you're gonna do, because the silence will give you the spirit. The silence will give you the vibe. The silence will give you the ambience, you know, that to get involved, that you need to be like it's very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
No, absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, so the other thing I was going to ask you about. So you had a Grammy nomination in 2013. That's amazing. That's really. it means something more, I think, Grammys, because they're, other musicians are voting for you. So was that nomination kind of important?
Oh, of course, the Grammy nomination is very important for a musician.
Yeah.
There are some musicians that don't care about that. But for me, yes, it was important. I hope I will be nominated again, and who knows, maybe I will win the prize. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that industry, is really big, and especially when you are nominated by jazz. Latin jazz, that's great.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of albums kind of things.
Absolutely. Well, you don't need to tell me. I get hundreds of them through my door all the time. Yeah. There's so much to listen to. It's an amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to get to be nominated. When Ibrahim got the nomination, he won the prize. When Omar Portuondo won the Grammy, I was the piano player from that thing. So it's beautiful to see people happy about it.
Absolutely. So what's next? When you leave London, what's the next musical thing on your horizon?
I mean, I'm preparing to different projects. I'm working with more like African music.
Okay.
This is a surprise, that's why I cannot tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe in the next interview we will talk about
Absolutely.
it. And then the other one is more classical. It's a duet with a violin cellist from Paris that we have.
Oh, God.
It's a surprise too, so it's a secret.
Okay, well...
we start already.
So when that comes out, I definitely want you to come back on the podcast and talk to me about it more.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
It
was really good to see you.
That's good.
Thank you for listening to that conversation with Roberto Fonseca. That was a really nice little bonus for my London Jazz Festival experience this year. I look forward to speaking to Roberto again about those projects that he's working on. That's really interesting. So what you're listening to now is the Harmonious World theme tune, composed and played by jazz pianist Joe English. And I didn't see Joe for this year's London Jazz Festival, but I saw some other people who were amazing, including Emma Ravitch and her band, which included Laura Jerd and Jason Rebello. And then I also saw Cassie Kinoshi at the Barbican. So those reviews will be on my blog. And I hope you have a very good week. Thank you for listening to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Seabrook, and it's a great delight to bring this series of discussions with musicians and composers and writers and all sorts of people to you. Obviously, there's no point in having a podcast if people aren't listening, and I'm very grateful to my listeners for doing so. Thanks also to Joe English for composing and performing this new theme tune. So wherever you get your podcast, you can leave a review. You can share this with your friends and family, either as a link or on social media and that sort of thing. I'd be really grateful for that. Don't forget that you can subscribe now. There's a link wherever you get your podcasts. So have a great week, and please remember why I started this, which is just to try and make the world a little more harmonious. Thanks for listening to Harmonious World.